All right, everybody, we're back and we're discussing some of the important principles of manhood. My oldest son, Broderick, is also joining me to share some of the lessons he's learned throughout the years. Let's get back to the discussion. Amir wants his children to be raised in a two-parent home. Amir, explain what's going on.
I have 2 kids. I grew up without my father and my mother. Bounced around foster care group homes until I was 18 years old, until I joined the military. So it's imperative for me, for my kids to have that father figure and that mother figure. And me and my kid's mom, we don't have the best relationship, but we live together. I know my kids aren't seeing the healthiest relationship every day, but in the back of my mind, I want them to have both parents. So what should I do?
Okay, see, that's easy for me because I've been in that situation. It's not good for the kids to see an unhealthy relationship because if they see it for an extended period of time, that's what they're gonna duplicate. They're gonna duplicate an unhealthy relationship. I really understand the dilemma you in. Me and his mom ain't together, but this my son. I'm his daddy. That's what I got to be, his dad. I don't have to stay with his mom. It didn't work out. And it wasn't his mother's fault, and I've said this many times. I was too young at the time. I wasn't the man I needed to be. And so I made some bad decisions along the way. He resented the fact that I left, but I had to go and become who I am today. I wasn't gonna be that in Cleveland, but at the end of the day, I had to come to my children and go, look, man, this is a decision I made as a man for us to sink or swim. Now, I'm not saying you have to leave her, but either y'all gonna go to counseling and get it right and work through it, or y'all got to go. Now, I ain't pushing divorce, but I ain't finna sit nowhere in misery. I'm not. I don't expect no woman to either. All right, let's go to Michael, who's struggling with long-term relationships. Michael, what's going on?
Yes, my parents got divorced early on, really early on, and my father essentially started his new life without me. And my mother was my best friend growing up, but you know, without a father figure in the house, it was lonely at times, and she worked long hours, which now I'm thinking may have led to some communication issues I have in relationships. And my girlfriend actually got me to message my half-sister online who didn't know about me for 18 years. And she messaged me back, and it was just so wonderful. And now I'm thinking maybe I should see if I can get in touch with him, but I just, that would devastate my mom. You know, she was the one that raised me. But I don't know, what do you think, Steve?
Okay, I see you shaking your head.
It's not gonna jeopardize anything. It's not gonna change anything between you and your mother. And I know this firsthand. I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16, right? They were moving to Atlanta and they said, hey, Broderick, we want you to move with us because we really wanna bring this family together. Now, in my mind, I've been living in Cleveland my whole life. I've been living with my mom. It's been me and my mom. That's it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, no, it's gonna hurt my mom. But at 16, I knew that's what I needed as a man. I needed that connection with him.
Right.
So I 100% stand by you going to open up that conversation, and it's not gonna change anything between you and your mother. It's not. She's gonna feel it some type of way. My mom felt a type of way when I left. Oh, why are you going? He hasn't been here. He wasn't here 16 years. Yeah, I got all that, but I know that's what I need. And I know that's what you need too. That's what we need as men. Just like how he wants to open up that door and ask for help, this is you. You opening up that door, and you got it right there. You can hop online and do it. You got it. You got that.
You know, man, let me say this to you, too. Like my son said, you don't know what the decision is, what your father was doing at the time, because your mother and father don't work. That don't mean y'all can't work. Right. She might feel a little some kind of way. What you reaching out to him for? Because he your father, and you feel empty without him. That's why. See, sometimes when you grow up, you need to hear both sides. See, you got to hear both sides. You got to have this conversation with your father. We've had this conversation. He had to understand what my decision that I made at 25, come on, man. Come on, 25? I got twins at 25. What I'm doing making decisions. Do you know, man, that at my daughter's, his oldest sister's wedding, at the father-daughter dance, I chose Earth, Wind, and Fire's Be Ever Wonderful. We danced the whole record and stood there and cried for 5 minutes because I had spent my entire life trying to make up for the mistakes I had made as a young man. But you gotta understand, you gotta forgive your fathers because they human too. They made mistakes. They made big mistakes, and some dudes don't know how to come back from the mistake. But know this, though. Their life is in pain without you. Reach out and go, hey, man, this is me now. Look here. Look here. This is what you didn't raise. But let me tell you who I am, though. Let me introduce myself to you. I'm a father now. I got 2 kids. My kids gonna know me. They gonna know me because I didn't know you. But I love you, and I forgive you what you did to me. I just need you to tell me why you did it so I can hear your side of the story. Because we men now. You won't answer. You ain't no little kid. I had to explain to him what happened. This is what happened, man. This is the decision I made. He told me one day, he said, you know what, Dad? I get it now. He said, you ain't belong to us. You belong to the world. He said, that's different. My father belongs to the world. He said, you ain't just mine. I wish you was, but you ain't. He said, but you Uncle Steve to a whole lot of people. Right. He said, but I'm glad you got me now. We good. You feel me? Let's go to Byron. Byron's got a parenting question.
I have 3 sons, young men that I actually raised to be very respectable. I'm a good Southern man coming out of New Orleans, and they're interested in getting into rap music. And so they've been dibbling and dabbling, and so I finally actually heard some of their music. And the first thing I heard, man, was just, cuss words and, disrespect about women. And I'm like, whoa, I mean, where's this coming from? Because you guys were raised in the suburbs. You've never been into inner city or anything like that. I mean, where's this coming from? And I get it. Socially, this is what people are doing, right? Socially, they're mimicking other things and they're following the trends of what other people are doing. But there has to be some kind of balance there.
Well, my son is here. My son is musically inclined, so I'm gonna let him talk.
And I am a fan of current hip hop and all that stuff. I feel like your sons are probably they're chasing this image, right? These rappers put out this image of money, this flashy lifestyle, and it's a lot of kids that are getting on nowadays. You can be 16 and you put out one song on a platform and you stream and you get 1 million hits. Right. So they're looking at it from that lens. You did a great job raising your sons. I could tell that about you. We talked backstage, and they're not on the wrong path. You didn't go wrong with anything. They're trying stuff out. Yeah, it might not be on brand with what you taught them, but they know right from wrong at the end of the day. They do.
That's cool. That's cool when your son can say stuff like that, because, look, man, they make decisions all the time I don't agree with. Technology has changed parenting just like that. Because it used to be real simple, man. If my mom and them didn't want me to do something, they tell me I can't go down there. I can't go down there. I miss it. You tell them they can't go down there now they get one of their boys and they FaceTime them. They there. You didn't do a bad job. It's just the world has shifted. See, all this calling women out bitches and all this here in music, that's our fault. We were so busy trying to make the money, we forgot to teach. So the generation behind us, that generation, we forgot to teach. We forgot to show them that we should have never let cool go out of style. Y'all replaced cool with hard. But you're doing good, though, like my son said. You've done a great job as a parent.
Let's see if they could do the music, but just clean it up in a way.
Right.
If they have the true talent, they could say whatever, and it'll come out great.
Right. They can't disrespect women in the music. Yeah. We got to put a stop to that. Tommy, what's your question?
So naturally, I feel like I have it together, but every now and then I go through lulls of depression where I feel down. And as a man, I feel like I should always portray an image of strength. So I'm just wondering, how do I deal with my emotions without looking weak?
The only way I know to negate negativity or depression is with gratitude. See, people don't understand how important this is. See, what causes you to get into low points and negativity is when you're focusing on what you don't have, what you wanted to happen that didn't happen, and something that happened that had a result that you didn't care for. your feelings are a barometer of your thoughts. If you feel down and low any time during the day, like it's dark or depressing, all you gotta do is trace what you've been thinking about the last 20 minutes. So now how do you negate that? You negate that with gratitude. This is a lesson that I teach to people in my motivational speeches and stuff. Gratitude erases negativity. Joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. You feel me? All right, let's go to the next question. Daniel was raised by a single mom and has a question about manhood.
So my mom raised me, and my dad's never been there. And my mom, she tried her best, but it's a lot of stuff about manhood that she can't teach me. So my question to you is, how do I become, or how do I learn how to be a man if I have no man influence in my life?
See, the problem when a father walks out of these dudes' lives is there's a hole in his soul the shape of his father. Here's the deal, single mothers. Every boy is gonna emulate some man somewhere. He can be a good man or he could be a bad man. You got to hair up and get a good man in front of him. You don't have to be the one you dating. I ain't saying you got to go out and find a man that becomes his daddy and all this here. You just got to help get a young man pointed in his direction. And all you need is somebody older. Go ahead.
My name is Levon. I was your age. I was 19. I'm 26 now. When I was really, like you, just wondering why or what can I do to be more of a man or find an example. And just like Steve said, it's really going to be another person, another man that you have no idea, because you're so used to not receiving love from a man, you don't know how to be open to receiving it. So now you have to believe that another male can teach you what your dad didn't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Keith Craig. My father left my mother and I and my baby sister when I was very young. So when I got of age, it was age 17. My mom didn't want to sign the document, but she signed I listed in the United States Army to go because we needed money. We was homeless for a year. What I'll say to you is, I went seeking for my mentor. Mm-hmm. Now you won't find that one thing in that one individual. You'll have multiple mentors or multiple people you can find guidance from. And you just got to go out there, think about what it is that you want to be, and the things that you need, and create a plan, build a plan to reach that platform. Yeah. But don't use this as an excuse. That's my number one thing for you today is, don't allow this absence of your father to be a hindrance from you achieving all of your dreams. Right. It's still away.
Let me ask you something. Where you live?
South Central.
Who lives here in LA? Who gonna mentor him?
We got my number two.
Three. Four. Okay. Now, you got all these men said they'll mentor you, they'll help you. See, that's what we gonna do for you. We gonna get you some men in your life. See, men, we know what it is to be a man. We know the way, and it ain't easy. No. Whoa, no, it's not easy. But we know what it is. But these men, see, I didn't ask them which one of y'all make enough money to mentor. I didn't say which one of y'all famous enough to mentor. The greatest men I ever know ain't got no money. Mm-hmm. The greatest men I ever met, Martin Luther King was not a rich man. Come on, man, this was just the greatest. My father was not a rich man, he was just the greatest. So this dude will mentor you, you get all their numbers. My son, you in South Central, I got dudes, man, that we know how to grab each other, because we know the way. All us been 19. Mm-hmm. You the young dude in the group. We're gonna put our arms around you, and we're gonna get you where you trying to go to. See, man, look, everything happened for a reason. This is an opportunity. You know, man, look, you ain't got to worry. There's a whole lot of dudes ain't had their daddy, but it's a whole lot of dudes up here to know how that feel. Mm-hmm. Men don't have these opportunities to talk, because where we from, man, we black men, we men of color. 100%. Our culture is hard. Latino men, hell, men, period. White men, it's hard. You get around other dudes, it's hard, man. We just men, we ain't supposed to cry. We ain't supposed to be hurt. You ain't supposed to, what? We're gonna take care of you, man. Hey, you made it to the end of this video. I got a lot more that you're gonna enjoy, so just click to watch the next one. And make sure you subscribe to always know what's happening.